All right. Can everybody hear me? Are we ready to go? Excellent. I think we have all our panelists now. So first of all, good morning, everyone. My name is Angelica Sanchez Vega, and I would like to welcome you to KY Innovation's first monthly entrepreneur support organization webinar. And this is a new format for all of us. So thank you for joining this morning. Now, a couple of announcements up front. Please note that this is in webinar format so that only presenters are able to control their mics and their screens. If you have questions or comments as we go along today, please use the chat function, which we will be monitoring. Also, I am going to ask that at least one representative from the KY Innovation Hubs remain in the webinar for a few minutes afterwards so that we can discuss the upcoming January 25th presentations. All right, and with that, I'm going to turn it over to Tony Ellis, who's the Acting Executive Director of KY Innovation and who will provide a quick introduction here. Tony?
Good morning, everybody, and welcome to January and the new year. As we reflect on Martin Luther King Jr., and we're reminded of one of his most famous quotes from his 1960 Spelman College address. If you can't fly, then run. If you can't run, then walk. If you can't walk, then crawl. But whatever you do, you have to keep moving forward. Today, we're establishing another step forward in the development and expansion of our KY Innovation Network and the resources we have available to the Commonwealth. For anyone on this call today who does not know me, my name is Anthony Ellis. I'm the Executive Director of KY Innovation. And if you don't know what KY Innovation is the state entity within the Cabinet for Economic Development that is responsible for funding and supporting our entrepreneurial support efforts and coordinating our state strategy across our different partners. We support our state venture funds, our commercialization efforts, including our efforts through Kentucky Commercialization Ventures, our regional hubs programs that deal directly with working with our startups and entrepreneurs to help them build and scale their businesses, our state marketing and storytelling efforts, and we also act as the liaison between government and our startup community. In addition, we manage and run all of our tax credit programs. So what is the purpose of this call? Why have we all gathered here today? And what are we doing with these meetings? Everyone on this call is playing a critical role in supporting our entrepreneurial ecosystem. And we continue to hear from a number of different stakeholders that there's a lack of understanding of our various resources available across the state and a lack of information about who does what within the Kentucky Innovation Network and startup ecosystem. So we started these calls in January of last year only among the entities that were specifically funded through our regional hubs program as an effort to build collaboration within our system. We wanted to make sure that the regional hubs were informed. We wanted to make sure that they had access to shared resources. The calls typically involve presentations from the hubs, KY Innovation, and KSTC's various programs such as Kentucky Enterprise Fund and Kentucky Commercialization Ventures. Through these discussions, we were able to discuss ongoing issues around entrepreneurship and government, let everyone know about upcoming deadlines at the federal, state, and local levels, allow everyone to seek help or advice about any ongoing issues within the innovation space, share stories and talking points that you can use and spread across the state as you engage with your stakeholders, and to get updates about our programs and operations. If you're on the call this morning, you are someone who is either directly part of the KY Innovation Network through one of our funded partners or otherwise involved in entrepreneurial support and startup activities around the state. Welcome. We're happy to have you. We really want to make this a broad and inclusive event. So if there are folks on the call or organizations that are not here or not present that you think would benefit from these discussions or add value, please let us know and we'd be happy to add them. Now, as we are all aware, COVID has impacted all of us and continues to impact and interrupt our daily lives. Many of us have, particularly at the start of the year, been dealing with both the illness itself and childcare and daycare issues. We at the Cabinet are no different. Many people have been out basically since the start of the year and continue to be impacted. I need to give a huge shout out to our incredible team here within the KY Innovation ecosystem and our partners at KSTC for helping to bring this meeting to fruition. It is our first. We have not even had a chance to be in the same place, basically, since we decided to have this. So please bear with us as we really start to get engaged in these meetings and start to develop them. Like so many of our calls, we want to begin by outlining the positives and wins that we can all be proud of across the state. This past year was a record year for economic growth in Kentucky. We've had 18,000 full-time jobs and $11.2 billion in announced investments, a 10% increase in average wages, and the second highest average wage in the past 7 years. In the past 2 years, companies have created over 27,000 full-time jobs, and this is in the face of great uncertainty. Despite this uncertainty, what we are seeing is a deep commitment from small businesses to our largest corporations in the world to Kentucky and building Kentucky's future. And we're seeing that growth and momentum in nearly every sector: automotive, AI, data analytics, renewables and sustainability, metals, logistics, healthcare, food and beverage. So we have a great opportunity to capitalize on these successes within the innovation space. And because of this economic growth and fiscal management and the hard work of so many people in the Beshear administration and working across government, we are in a unique position right now of having a huge budget surplus, an all-time record of $1.9 billion more in general fund revenues than budgeted. So the governor, looking at this information, presented his Future Is Now budget last week. And I just want to outline some key items that are relevant to our group as entrepreneurial support organizations. There's a proposal to increase SEEK funding to build our next generation of STEM workers by 16%. There's a proposal to create universal preschool for all 4-year-olds in full-day kindergarten, which every entrepreneur with kids that age will appreciate. There's Bucks for Brains will be restarted with a $60 million investment, a program that was critical to bringing some of our top researchers to the state throughout the past 2 decades. A $10 million talent attraction media campaign is being proposed. That's a national outreach effort to recruit and retain talent in Kentucky in direct response to the information we've heard from the entrepreneurial community about the need for such a program. And also $10 million to secure a new life sciences lab in Northern Kentucky to support the growing life sciences sector there, $75 million to support a state-of-the-art agritech research and development center in Eastern Kentucky, which follows on the strength that we've developed in this area throughout the past few years, $100 million in electrical vehicles charging stations throughout the state, and an additional $200 million on top of the $300 million previously appropriated to bring rural and underserved communities online through broadband expansion, something that will be critical to keeping and maintaining technological dominance and growth throughout the Commonwealth. So we look forward to seeing how these developments play out in the legislative session. We will keep you informed of these developments on calls like this. We've also launched some new programs in 2021, the Kentucky IP Alliance, which brings which I'm sure Monique will talk about and brings a great speaker here today. And I'm gonna let her take that area and talk all about it. We've also got great new partnerships. We've begun a new partnership with Middletech. Evan knows Logan Jones and the team at Middletech have done incredible work in spreading the great work about Kentucky innovators and entrepreneurs and telling the stories we need to tell to really highlight and focus on the stuff that's happening here and to rebut the presumption that there's not great things happening in Kentucky. There is an incredible amount of great entrepreneurial and innovative stories and activities happening in the Commonwealth. Folks like Middletech are doing great work doing that. We're proud to be a new sponsor of them. We've also had a lot of big wins across the state. We've had at least 15 startups get $1 million in funding last year. Climavision, Chris Good and his team raised $100 million. App Harvest raised $49 million. eBlue Solutions with $11.4 million. And Rubicon moved their headquarters back to Lexington and promptly went public with a $2 billion valuation. And Influ, Josh Reed and his team won the 5 Across 2021 finals, showing that from small to large, you can do it in Kentucky. We also have some things we should be incredibly proud of right now. I want to give a big shout out to Sprocket and the Grow West team. This has been an incredibly hard time in Western and Central Kentucky following the devastation caused by the Western Kentucky tornadoes. Sprocket launched their brand new co-working space, which was years in the making in December of last year. And immediately they jumped in with both arms to help their fellow Kentuckians by providing folks in Western Kentucky with places to work, places to charge their phones so they can get in touch with their families and communicate, and seminars like the one that happened this morning of how to contract with FEMA. Second big shout out to Sam Ford, part of our Bowling Green Regional Hub and the whole Central Kentucky region. Following the devastation, Sam and that group immediately jumped into action, launching Keep On Shining Kentucky, which continues to spread the word and raise funds for those affected by this terrible tragedy. Now, if you have other wins that you want us to share across our various platforms and throughout the Kentucky Innovation Network, every month you're going to have an opportunity to submit those things directly to us so that we can share them. And as we move forward, we really want you to be able to talk about them directly on these calls. So there's still much work to do and still a lot of opportunities to grow. We continue to hear a lot about a lack of resources and opportunities. This is largely, in many cases, just misinformation. So we need to make sure that we have accurate information as we're talking to entrepreneurs, and that those of us in the entrepreneurial support community know our programs. Now, we're trying to help in as many ways as possible, and one of them is redesigning the website to make it a much more informative and helpful tool to give you the resources you need to understand all of the programs we have available and make sure that you can talk to entrepreneurs and startups about the right programs that meet their needs. We continue to have a desperate need for talent and workforce. There are thousands of unfilled jobs around our community of companies that really want to grow that we still need to work on. And we continue to need a better process for communicating effectively among ourselves and sharing information. This is one of those opportunities here to try to solve that problem. Now, we cannot do this without each of you and the folks on this call. We need your help to both design the best system, spread our stories, and gather the information that we need to be able to generate programs and craft strategies that can help our startups and entrepreneurs be successful. I want to address one funding thing that is spreading around social media. Some of you may have saw the article in Kentucky Inno that Kentucky's VC activity in terms of total funds decreased from $233.8 million in 2020 to $197.4 million last year, which is about a 16% decrease. And part of what we do on these calls is to be honest with each other about how we're doing and how we're growing. We're looking into that data. There's good news from the report. This year we've had 51 deals versus 40 from last year. So we have more companies getting funding, and we're having bigger exits. 7 companies last year exited in Kentucky in pretty significant deals. But as we dig into data, this is actually a pretty big drop down from 2019 when we had nearly double that amount at $476 million. The best explanation we've seen so far is that seed stage and early stage entrepreneurs, that funding level is way down, and that comprises a much bigger share of our venture activity than a lot of states that have had longer, more developed entrepreneurial ecosystems. And that highlights why we need to do a very good job building the pipeline. Now, the timing of this couldn't be better for us, because some of you may have heard about the federal SSBCI program, the State Small Business Credit Initiative program, which was originally developed in 2010, where it comprised 3 different primary programs: a venture capital piece, direct lending piece, and a variety of other financial products that would help small businesses get money. That program was relaunched by the federal government in 2020, and you should all know that Kentucky has already filed an application to get its share and proposed allocation, which is about $117 million. The governor, in looking across the ecosystem at where our priorities were, has already allowed us to dedicate 70% of that funding, which is about $80 million, to venture capital. That is going to be a huge influx of venture capital to this community if the application gets approved. We can ultimately get that money deployed. The final application date is February 11th, and you should know the team at KY Innovation and KSTC and Commonwealth Seed Capital are actively involved in the application, and progress is being made. You can look to these calls to get more updates on them. The call in February should let you know how the application process went. So let's just talk about a few more things and then I'll turn it over. Session is happening. We are currently in the legislative session. It runs from January 4th through April 15th. I want to make sure everybody knows about Entrepreneurship Day on February 17th. That's a day for everybody to present at the Capitol or meet with legislatures. Obviously, because of the COVID situation, we're going to need to monitor that. But the current plan is to have a full day at the Capitol and to set up meetings with legislators so that you can talk about the importance of the critical work we all do on the ground in supporting our startup and entrepreneurial ecosystem. For anybody involved in cryptocurrency or interested in that, there are 3 different bills that have been filed by Senator Brandon Smith in Eastern Kentucky. We're happy to share with you if you have any interest in getting them. They're Senate Bill 16, 17, and 67, which really stem from work that the Blockchain Working Group has done throughout Kentucky over the past year, looking at different laws that have been passed in different states. We think they're going to make a lot of progress towards supporting Kentucky's growing cryptocurrency industry. Some deadlines: January 25th, we're going to be having a public and press invited presentation for all of the hubs and our programs to talk about how we did last quarter. This is consistent with our accountability and transparency efforts that we've really implemented over the past 18 months, where we'll outline how we did, any upcoming events and deadlines, and identify our metrics. We really want to be able to tell the great story and successes of our programs in a public forum with the press to make sure that these stories are spread. There are some other deadlines coming up. Awesome Inc.'s got opportunities to apply for their fellowship, and applications are now open for 5 across. The Governor's School for Entrepreneurship has applications open for the 2022 season. That deadline is rapidly coming up, January 24th, 2022. It's a free program open to all 9th, 10th, and 11th graders. And if there are other deadlines that anybody wants to discuss, I would encourage you to put them in the chat. We're going to try to send out a summary of this after this call to anybody that was on it. And also if there are upcoming events that you want to talk about. And with that, I will turn it over to, I believe Monique is taking over next. Wonderful. Well, thank you all for coming. We look forward to seeing you and talking to you more.
Thank you so much, Tony. There's a lot of exciting updates in 2022 for Kentucky. We are really excited to jump in head first at Kentucky Commercialization Ventures. We have an active kinetic cycle open, also some Launch Blue activity. We get excited about early stage technology and investment. But one of the aspects of early stage technology startups and investments that I'd argue isn't talked about enough is the protection of it, intellectual property. We were very happy to launch the Kentucky Intellectual Property Alliance in October of last year, and we have been powering forward to bring a sense of community to our inventors and our stakeholders and our entrepreneurship service organizations to talk more about how to protect Kentucky's best ideas. And with that, it's a pleasure to introduce our special guest today. We originally met in terms of the Kentucky Intellectual Property Alliance. His name is James Wilson from the Elijah Mccoy Midwest Regional Office for the United States Patent and Trademark Office, often referred to as the USPTO. And James is the Assistant Regional Director. You know, one of the many things that are so special about James is that he very much is enthusiastic about intellectual property, access to IP, and making the most of it for entrepreneurs across the region. And so with that, I don't want to tell too much, James, because I'd like to invite you to tell us a little bit more about yourself. Welcome.
Good morning. Can you hear me? Fantastic.
Yes.
Fantastic. Good morning, everyone. As Monique has articulated, my name is James O. Wilson. I am the Assistant Regional Director of the Elijah J. Mccoy Midwest Regional United States Patent and Trademark Office in the fabulous city of Detroit, Michigan. Thank you so much for this opportunity to come before the Kentucky Innovation Hubs Huddle, so that I could have this opportunity to share some of the resources that are in your backyard. The Elijah J. Mccoy Midwest Regional Office covers the Midwest, which includes 9 states. Those states include Minnesota, Iowa, Missouri, Illinois, Indiana, Wisconsin, Michigan, Ohio, and Kentucky. Yes, I even have on my, I thought and I think that I have on my Kentucky blue today. And it is one of my favorite colors. I'm not just saying that because I'm on with the Kentucky Hubs. So I have been engaging with Monique and finding out that there is a lot of interest in intellectual property in the Kentucky area. And we would love to tap into this so that we can take advantage of the opportunity to provide you with more support, more opportunities to learn about intellectual property and the like. A brief overview of intellectual property for those of you who are not as well versed in intellectual property would include the different types of protection that you might be able to seek. Of course, I work for the Patent and Trademark Office, so patents and trademarks predominate in the sphere of my expertise and my knowledge. But we also advise the president and the executive branch of the government on copyrights. So the only other form of intellectual property that the Patent Office does not truly engage in would be trade secrets. And so trade secrets are secrets. So who who is involved in secrets? The people who hold the secrets. So we copyrights protect original works of authorship, including literary, dramatic, musical, artistic, and other works that are fixed in a tangible media, such as Michael Jackson's Thriller, music, artwork, and video, or the Windows operating system. Generally, the term of a copyright is good for the life of the person who developed the copyright plus 70 years. For some works, 95 years from publications, and others 120 years from creation. We also talk and engage in information related to trade secrets. Now, we will broadly and generally go over trade secrets. It's a secret. So at the end of the day, it's information that is not shared. And it's information that allows and provides a business or a company to maintain confidentiality and allows them to have a business advantage by having that information and keeping it close to the vest. Trade secrets must be diligently protected. To leave the formula of your famous cookies on your desk for someone to steal is not a good idea. So just some general basic ideas about trade secrets we would share with you, and that we would provide you with some guidance about how the government and how the law articulates what you need to do in order to preserve your trade secrets. Trademarks are directed to the protection of words, symbols, logos, and the like that identify and distinguish products or services. So if you have a unique company in Kentucky and it has a unique name, or there's a slogan that's associated with it, or if there is even a color associated with the product that you provide, then securing a trademark to protect that is a great idea. One example that comes to mind is Zoller sump pumps. Zoller sump pumps are green. I believe they're made in Kentucky. They are this unique shade of green. The green color is actually trademarked, and nothing else should be that color but a Zoller sump pump. And so when you get this sump pump and you see the color, which is very distinctive, you know that you have the real deal. You know that you have a product from this company that is legitimately from that company. Patents, which is where I am more of an expert, is a more complex idea. It protects inventions, and those inventions are normally directed to articles of manufacture, compositions, methods for treating, methods and processes. And these inventions allow you, and the protection of these inventions allows you the opportunity to somewhat corner the market. You're going to disclose to everyone how you arrived at your invention, but you will be protected from other people being able to take advantage of what it is that you own as property. Just like a piece of land that you might own, you may also lay claim to the creations of your mind and the inventions that you come up with. That's a brief overview and very, very light overview of the different types of intellectual property And if you have any questions about intellectual property, please drop them in the chat. I have team members who are available to provide you with information, guidance, and they can shoot you a link here and there that would allow you the opportunity to expand your knowledge. And one of the things that we are excited about in being on this call is that we're looking to move into every one of the hubs in Kentucky and to be able to provide information and training to those individuals in those hubs who are interested in intellectual property, patents, trademarks, copyrights, and trade secrets. We have programs that are 6 and 8 week programs that allow people to build upon their knowledge so that they can have a clear understanding of what their relationship is to the intellectual property that they are going to be able to protect. So I want to go into some of the resources that are available to you. When we are open and outside of COVID, our office, like the other 4 offices at the USPTO, there's an office in Silicon Valley, which is in San Jose. There is an office in Denver. There is an office in Dallas. And of course, our headquarters are in Washington, D.C. I've already articulated that the Midwest office finds its home in Detroit, Michigan. Okay, I am going to tell you that I'm hoping that this pandemic blows over and that we're able to come together in mass and in person soon, because we open our doors. The doors to the USPTO are always open when we are open to the public to provide assistance and information on intellectual property. We have workstations in place that would allow individuals to search patents and trademarks. You would want to search patents and trademarks if you were trying to secure one to make sure that you're not treading on someone else's property, or to make sure that your property is unique to you and that it is yours and a creation of your mind that can actually be protected for you. We have interview rooms that allow you to conduct meetings with examiners and people who work at the USPTO for information. Office hours with USPTO experts and strategic partners like the Small Business Administration and Export Assistance Center allows for you, if you come into our space, to engage with those who are interested in helping you protect your intellectual property and develop your entrepreneurial endeavors. Educational programs for the innovation ecosystem are not just limited to those who are interested in inventions and trademarks. It is also inclusive of K through 12. So if there are any teachers who are on this call, if there are any educators, any universities, any law schools, any mechanical engineers, chemical engineers, computer scientists, the United States Patent and Trademark is looking for you. We have a robust hiring system, and we hire across the country because now we have offices across the country. And so that allows for us to delve into the Midwest and the South and the mountain region and the West Coast to get the best and the brightest to become members of our team. We have an incredible website, and I'd like to bring your attention to www.uspto.gov/inventors. It is a site on our website that allows for inventors and entrepreneurs to delve into resources that we make readily available and that are free of charge to assist you in your entrepreneurial and intellectual property endeavors. We do our best to help you not waste your money, your resources, such as your time and your efforts and your energy. We assist budding inventors in determining how to conduct a preliminary U.S. patent search. So you may believe that you've come up with something that is new, but if you go into our search system and you're able to see who has done what and what inventions are on file with us presently, you can prevent yourself from being Alice and going down the rabbit hole and sinking money and being lost and having lost time and resources for that purpose. We assist in searching and for you to have an understanding of the significance and the importance of having a search strategy and how this search strategy will provide you with the opportunity of being on solid ground. How to conduct a preliminary U.S. search is a 36-minute web-based tutorial that we provide that sets forth a step-by-step strategy for patent searching. The 7-step strategy is a detailed handout of 7-step strategy with examples and screenshots that will really help if you struggle with being very adept at moving through computer-based training. This is really set out in a manner that would allow you the opportunity to gain as much knowledge as quickly as you possibly can. We have an Inventor search assistant tool. So it's called ISAT. And it will help you in patent search training. Really want you to go into our site and to look at what we have available to provide you with support and guidance to have a intellectual property product that you can protect and that would allow you the opportunity to monetize and to make a business and to hire people and to drive our economy forward. We also have assistance centers. And one of the assistance centers that we have is for patents and one is for trademarks. And we do encourage you, when you have questions that you can't answer, first, we encourage you to reach out to us at the Elijah J. McCoy Midwest Regional Office. We have a website where you can enter in questions and give us 24 to 48 hours to provide you with the best answer that we can come up with. We don't usually brush out answers, and we'd like for you to be patient with us so that we can give you the answer that will provide you the guidance and the support and the direction that you need. We have a trademark assistance center. I personally know people who are barbers and who are school teachers who have successfully filed and obtained trademarks without the assistance of anybody else, just by going in, reading the information, following the directions, asking a few questions here and there when they're not set. And these individuals have obtained trademarks. It is not outside of the realm of probability and possibility that you have something that should be trademarked and you should trademark it. If you have a product that you want to be identified or that you want identified with your company, you should more than likely obtain and seek a trademark if your goals are to engage in international or United States-wide distribution and use of your products. We have a pretty detailed list of resources that provide links that I am going to make available to Monique and to the hubs. We're going to give this resources page and our telephone helpline number so that in the future, anyone who is interested in pro se assistance, that is going it alone without the assistance of an attorney, trying to get a patent on your own, plenty of people do it. Law school clinics. We're looking to reach out to students who are in law school, who are interested in intellectual property. We should be one of your first contacts, because if you're in Kentucky and you're interested in intellectual property and you're interested in becoming an intellectual property attorney, we're interested in you. The numbers in Kentucky of intellectual property attorneys is fairly small. It is an an amazing opportunity for you to enter into a pool of individuals who will provide intellectual property for the future across the diverse populations in the state of Kentucky, from the inner city to the country. So important out in the fields and in the farms. It is so important that people who are inventing and are creating obtain the protection that they need so that they are taken care of financially by monetizing these inventions. I am just about done. I'm just about done. Where to find programs? You can find programs on our website at www.uspto.gov. And I'm sure one of my colleagues has typed that into the chat. And there are also resources that are non-USPTO business resources that I'm sure that you're aware of, that I am sure Monique and her team are making available to you, just as they have brought us to you to make available. US SBA Small Business Administration. It is an organization that provides support to small businesses, just as the name states. And every first Thursday, we give a presentation in the Midwest office that anyone in the country can tap into and take advantage of hearing a recap of the intellectual property. It won't be done in the 5 minutes that I delved into it. There will be a lot more detail provided so that you can get a clear understanding of the difference between a patent, a trademark, a copyright, and a trade secret, and the different types of patents that there are. There are local incubators and accelerators throughout Kentucky and throughout the country, inventors organizations, and state resources such as SBDCs that provide support that we are looking to partner with. USPTO is looking to drive home the fact that we are here to provide support and assistance. We are excited about what's going on in Kentucky and the major moves that are being made in the business administration and with the small businesses, the business administration, and intellectual property. So excited about what you guys are doing. And we can be reached in the Midwest office by going to www.uspto.gov/Midwest. We have a website there where we put our programs and information, and we are looking to partner with each and every hub in Kentucky. We're looking to reach out to CRIC in Bowling Green, SOAR in Eastern Kentucky, Go West in Western Kentucky, Amplify in Louisville, Awesome Inc. in Lexington, and Blue North, yes, Blue North in Northern Kentucky. So excited about the Kentucky Innovation Hubs. Looking forward to engaging each and every member in those hubs and the leaders of those hubs. Monique, I'm not sure if there is anything additional that I should add or could add. I don't want to go beyond my time.
This was perfect. Perfect, James.
Ecstatic about the opportunity to work with you. For one thing, Kentucky, you're lucky you have Monique on your side and on your team. And I'm lucky to have the team that I have that have been introducing information into the chat so that you can get on the site information. I am supported by an incredible team, as Monique is, and I thank you for your time and your attention during this session.
Thank you so much, James. Wow, you are just a fantastic partner, and you've shared so many helpful resources. That is exactly what we need right now. We have been celebrating all throughout the year so many wins coming to the Kentucky tech ecosystem. You mentioned the SBA. We are an SBA awardee with KIPA, as well as our Inventors Network Kentucky. I saw Leo and Don pop up in the chat. We also have some recent awards from Build Back Better, Better with University of Louisville and the Louisville Healthcare CEO Council, as well as the University of Kentucky and SOAR working together on agri-tech initiatives. It is a great time to be tech in Kentucky. And we're so grateful for your partnership in helping us protect those wonderful ideas and move them to market. Thank you so much, James. And also, quick shout out, if anyone is not a member of the Kentucky IP Alliance, please do join today. I will drop the link in the chat. We have content scheduled all the way out until June of this year. So excellent ways to protect your wonderful ideas right here in Kentucky. Thank you so much. And thank you, James and Midwest U.S. PTO.
That was a wonderful, informative discussion. We really cannot thank you, and I'm sure we'll have lots of interest about getting some additional training on IP from our hubs. All right, we'll follow up, as Tony mentioned, with some of these links and contact information following the webinar. But right now, I would like to pass this on to Christine, our very own Christine Mcneil here, who is going to make an announcement for Tasha Sums, who unfortunately had a conflict this morning. Christine?
Yeah, good morning. So hopefully you can hear me. So yeah, just to follow up on KY Pitch, and that KY Pitch, for those of you guys who do not know, KY Pitch is our intercollegiate pitch competition across the state, and students can pitch their business ideas to large audiences, community leaders, investors across the state, and they're competing for prize money and business support. So just to update KY Pitch, intent to compete is due February 25th of this year. So more information can be found at kypitch.com. I'll drop that website in the chat so you guys can go to that and help us spread the word. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Christine. And thanks everybody for helping us spread the word about KY Pitch that is upcoming. It's a fantastic opportunity for students. So if you know somebody, if you know a young person that is interested in entrepreneurship, please direct them towards this program. All right, with that, I think that concludes our programming for today. Thank you for joining us for this, the first monthly KY Innovation Entrepreneur Support Organization webinar. We hope to see you next time. However, hub reps, if you can please stay on the webinar so we can discuss the upcoming January 25th presentations. I would really appreciate that. Thank you, everybody else. I hope to see you soon and have a great rest of the day.